Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, where we discuss the realest, rawest, most relevant stories and strategies behind building every corner of a blue collar business. I'm your host, Cy Kirby, and I want to help you. What it took me, trial and error, and a whole lot of money to learn. The information that no one in this industry is willing to share. Whether you're under that shade tree or have your hard hat on, let's expand your toolbox. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Blue Collar Business Podcast, brought to you and sponsored by Thumbtack. Tired of spending all your time searching through weak leads instead of getting work done? Thumbtack brings you work you're ready to win. You get visibility automation to run your business without headaches, plus the flexibility to scale across crews and markets. You'll always know where your money's going and what it delivers. The success of pros on Thumbtack says it all. Want to grow smarter? Visit thumbtack.com/pro today to book your one-on-one strategy session. Big shout out to Thumbtack for joining forces with us. As you guys know, we have been looking for blue collar product and services, and one that I am very learning more and more about every day. I was just on the phone with them yesterday. I've been an avid customer since they've been in our area. Well, since I've known about them. The gentleman here has more insight and knowledge than I think we're going to have time to share about the used equipment market, the new equipment market, the dealership network, buckets, attachments, everything you guys want to know inside and out about kind of where the industry is. This gentleman has insight on, and he is a U.S. Army veteran with nearly 10 years of service. Thank you for your service, sir. But this gentleman has 25 plus years in heavy equipment, construction industries as a whole, but mainly based around the equipment side, sales, service, etc. None other than Mr. Sam Light, owner of Lighthouse Machinery. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me. This is freaking awesome.
Sam Sherrod is definitely stepping out of his comfort zone, yes. And I really, really appreciate you because there is so many guys that are going to watch this, and ladies, I shouldn't discount you guys, maybe sharing it to their husband. Hey, look, here's some insight on a topic we were just talking about going into this new machine, etc. So there's so much to be talked about in the equipment side of things, but as our previous guest, guys, if you guys want to go watch that, www.bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com or any of your streaming podcast platforms. Mr. Alex Kraft, shout out there. But this aligns right. I love how it's back-to-back weeks because we're going to be on the same topic as where I was going with that. And in the heavy equipment space, excavation space, literally, this gentleman has some cranes, all different sorts of types of stuff. I follow him on LinkedIn, and check him out at lhmpartsusa.com and Lighthouse Machinery. So, Sam, thank you, sir. Give us a little background where Lighthouse came from. I know with 25 plus years of experience, you have probably seen it all, the mistakes, where the industry was heading, where the industry worked before, but
I probably made most of the mistakes.
Me and you both. That's why I have this show, and that's why I try to share it with the audience to hopefully not end up like me, but talk about why Lighthouse is who they are and where you're going with.
So to give a backstory to it, ran dealerships, a dealership and sales team in Arkansas for a long time, 14 plus years, and then went and ran some dealerships in the Carolinas for 8 years. Anyway, I just worked on the dealership side, and the changes from 98 to 99 to now is insane differently. So my last company was a corporation, was corporate owned. It was an investment company that owned it. And just not what I wanted to continue doing morally. That too, it just I don't work for the market, the shareholders.
Understood, sir.
I don't work for shareholders. I work for the customers and for my employees. And anyway, but no, I learned a lot. And then we were looking for a reason to come back home, because so we decided that, hey, we're going to move back to Arkansas. We're going to move. The only place to live in Arkansas is in the north.
That's right. That's right. Hillbilly country.
My wife's from Warden, and I'm from Monticello. Anyway, so during the 25 years, I noticed the transition of the dealership and OEM network. Your old people, not say old people, your experienced people that knew the parts, knew the equipment are leaving. Mm-hmm. And the new guys that are coming in don't know nothing at all. And so, in the training side of it, a lot of the dealerships are departmentalizing. Person parts, A parts, friend service. There's no cross training. There's no share of information of why you need these seals for the engine, why you need these parts for this part of the equation of the machine. None of that was being taught. Mm-hmm. And so also during COVID, there was a restriction of the supply chain, and that showed.
Boy, was there!
Oh, it showed where all the shortcomings are through the whole system. Not pointing fingers at anybody, but the entire system was screwed up.
The industry as a whole.
It's just some time manufacturing and stocking your inventory at whatever level you're at based upon return on asset or investment versus taking care of the customer was getting out of hand. So we started Lighthouse, one, to sell equipment. If you deal with Ritchie Brothers or let's say anybody in particular, they have their tooling. They're good at some things, but the charges are expensive.
Yep.
10-15%, and usually the guy doesn't know what they're talking about. Usually some of them are not, some are very knowledgeable.
That's right.
And so and COVID hit, and I had these OEM guys that Sam come help us liquidate assets.
Okay.
And so that's right when the oil field went the crap. And so went out there. It was awful, man. It was excavator stacked up like hardwood across the field of machines with no market to go. Also, due to contractual restraints between dealerships, it was hard for them to move that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we went in there and came up with a plan to move that inventory. That's what started Lighthouse. I had a contractor in South Carolina, love that man to death, Clary Hood. My left lender, he said, what are you going to do? I'm going to start something. I know what it is. Mm-hmm. He said, how much you need? I said, I'm going to need this. He said, go see her. She got a check waiting. So like, out of nowhere.
Wow.
And then I said, I got on the road and I went and saw customers that I had a relationship through the years. One with Grant Garrett.
Yep.
I drove here. So you're ready to talk to you. We'll start this business. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
But it's going to be something. Can you help me? Yes. Brian McGeorge with Granite Mountain, with McGeorge Contracting. I can go through the whole list of people throughout the country. Rogers Group, Marmetta, Vulcan. Say, guys, we're going to make something, and we're hoping to be a resource. So we started looking at assets, and that's where the cranes, and we sold some stuff from Navholz, just stuff that no one really knew about and didn't spend time focus on.
That's right.
Okay. So eliminate the assets on equipment, and then during that process, one of my old product support guys, Marty, says, Sam, you need to start the parts business. Marty, no. And he's like, no. He said, no, start the part business. And he came on board after about 4 months of wearing me out, and he sold $150,000 in parts in the first month. Just on the phone calling customers. Wow. Well, what Marty had was the knowledge of 30, 40 years, and people could call him and give it to him and walk away. Mm-hmm. And he'll handle it. He just walk away. And I said, Marty, holy cow, Batman. I said, we got to replicate this. He said, I've been telling you, you got to do it. And he still rose in my face. And so then we brought on Brad Pruitt because he's somebody that has the knowledge on parts I didn't have. And so we brought on Brad, and Brad is wealth of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then we started looking around for people. And how do you take somebody that's in our industry is less than 1% of the population? Less than 1%.
It's insane.
How do you train them? How do you bring them in and teach them what we need them to learn to be successful?
Really quickly, I have, in the last 6 months, started an internal training program with video and video capturing everything. But no, I'm with you. It's very hard. It's strategy that you have to find. Like I try and get a guy that knows what a grade stick is anymore. You know what I mean? You have to be adaptable in training, but that's been kind of our number one thing was hiring the right people. Sounds like you know exactly what you're looking for, but training somebody new is, it's the most expensive thing we go through as business owners.
And we go through so many people.
Yep.
To get to that one person.
That's right.
And right now we have some amazing people. I mean,
yeah, you do, man.
Devin, Jordan, Katie, Brad, Marty, Dustin. We got 3 people. We got people now in New York and in North Carolina and Florida that are coming on board. I want to see more of that be successful. But anyway, so back to
you're fine.
Back to the parts side of the equation. When we started doing parts, and COVID hit, and some of the OEMs came to us and said, "Hey, we need parts. We can't get GT. We need you to figure this out." And so we started bringing containers and container loads of GET from all over the place to fill in the short supply here. And our biggest customer was dealers. It's still today, our biggest customers for parts is dealers, hands down. 60 to 70% of our parts business is sold to dealers.
Wow, that's staggering, actually. Wow, that's awesome for you.
Well, you don't get better button, right? The easy button. You see, when you walk into a dealership, for the most part, you got phones ringing. Somebody in the shop needs something.
That's right.
And just all this stuff going chaotic. So,
at least your glasses.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry. I thought that was remote.
No.
Sorry to take you off topic.
And then, customer calls in and wants an aftermarket solution or a used solution, and the guys don't have the experience. So they just call us, and we'll provide options for them. Sometimes we can make money off of it. Sometimes we can't. We do what we can do for that side of it. And that's where we're headed to. So every dealership is, in my opinion, have a struggle with the parts, whether it be self-inflicted or OEM inflicted. And our job is to help mitigate that risk and that issue. And so far, it's been very profitable for us.
That's amazing because, like you said, man, you're concentrated on the customer. I'm a customer. I can tell you for a fact they are 100% concentrated. I haven't bought a machine, but buckets and the inventory did you automatically start? I mean, you guys have a massive inventory.
Our inventory runs.
How did that start working?
So the inventory, we started out with nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
And we were working in our pole barn at my house. Okay, and that was an environment. It was definitely unique.
It worked.
It worked. We got out of there because we had these containers coming, and we ended up buying the warehouse, and we're busting that. We need a bigger spot, but right now we're just the growing
business. The business struggles, bud.
So the thing is, though, how do we maximize inventory and offering to our customers without the huge investment? Okay, so what we done was once we prove ourselves to our suppliers and to our dealer network that we're actually a resource for you, not a competition.
That's right.
We're here to help you and the end user to keep up running, whether it be your rental fleet, because we're a equipment share certified supplier.
Really?
They can call anywhere in the country. They'll call us on stuff, and so there's several companies that we do that with. Anyway, so we started creating a database of suppliers and what they're good at. Now, not all suppliers supply all good parts.
No, agreed.
There's junk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've learned
the hard way.
We've experienced problems, and that we thought was from a credible vendor, and it wasn't.
But you did it because you took care of your customer.
You had to. And so during that process of learning, we created a database where people, end users, or the dealer can go into our website and put in a part number. It pulls up what's available in the continental U.S.
Wow.
Okay. Now, we're trying to stay focused in the U.S., but we're coming to find out we're having to ship a lot of stuff out of Europe right now, especially on road products. We're having to bring stuff in. But mainly in the United States. And anytime that we see an issue, like for instance, we'll have a run of 5 or 6 same parts being asked for from different parts of the country, then we'll automatically go out there and start searching where's that pocket inventory that can fit the needs of everybody else. And
What a model, man.
no, once we find out where the honey holes are, this sells in 2 weeks
Right.
until the OEM can catch up.
Well, that's insane. The inventory side of things I wanted to really highlight on, guys, is that, man, I just bought a bucket from you guys for our Komatsu 360. We were kind of talking about how unique of a size. I was looking more for a 36-inch bucket. I would have actually liked it a little smaller, and you ended up having on the yard a 30-inch in-struck bucket with going through some major rock in that area. It's kind of shallowed up now, but either way, man, same day, Jordan's standing out there going, hey, dude, I think this bucket will work. This one here, let me measure this. And dude, just the way he communicates with his customer, you don't get that kind of level of service. And he cared about the crew sitting there waiting for the bucket, but he had it on the yard. Next day, it's on the machine digging. Right. Now, granted, we're right here. Right. That's a lot easier. But there's guys all across the country, and I know you'll ship to them.
Oh yeah, we shipped 2 rippers to Hawaii last week.
Did you?
The little rippers it went on a John Deere 470, and we shipped. The freight was like $4,000 to get that ripper there, but they bought the ripper and 3 sets of teeth in Alaska. From now until the end of the year, we'll ship tons of stuff to Alaska.
Really?
You can ship in Portland, get on a boat, and go up.
Oh, getting ready for winter, everything's down timed.
Frost rippers, we sell a ton of frost rippers up in that area, and up and also all along the Canadian border.
Hey, shout out to my Canuckies.
But we have it in stock.
Right.
We don't have everything in stock. We never will have everything in stock. And we'll do as much as our capital allow us to do. But the resource is knowing where things are in the country. If you know that, the other thing that I'm trying to teach my guys, and they're great guys, the team is slowly coming together, but they're great, is ask the customer what the asset is. If it's a $10,000 machine, do we need a new part?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a reman part?
Come on.
Are you planning on using it for a season? Are you planning on fixing it and sending it to auction? What is the game plan on through assets so that we can search the best product?
Right.
And depending on the size of the company, your size company, you know what you need and know what the options are. Normally, for a bigger company, they have a person agent, asset manager, and they're not thinking about all that. And also, they're not thinking to ask that from a dealership. This is going to need parts.
Well, that's literally where I'm going next is let's talk about the dealerships. And literally, you hit it on the head when we were just pre-talking here before the show and the struggles that you saw within the dealership network, not only for the dealership, but mainly for the customer and what they were dealing with from all levels, from sales to service. And the biggest thing I picked up from last week's show with Alex was that there's no incentive for the dealers to get any better because there's not going to be another cat dealer moving in on Riggs territory or Holt's territory or Fabric's territory. There's just not. They know they're the only person. And I know I'm opening it.
Me up, man. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. I figured I would catch a bone or two, but it's so true. And thank God for companies like yourself that go, hey, we have got to fix this industry. This is crap. The customers are getting hosed on, and literally the software that it takes coming out and the mileage trips and and the untrained technicians that they're sending out there
for $200 an hour
to change a filter that you couldn't even diag over the phone, and you told me it was an injector and it was all this crap, and you scared me, and now I got to pay $2,800 for you coming out and changing a filter or whatever the case may be.
Yes,
but there has to be other options, and not just to hear that dealers are coming to you and going, and your team and going, hey man, this guy's got a larger excavator with 9,000 hours on it, the new part. It's going to take like 8 weeks to order. Do you have anything reman? Is there anything that we could, at least offer the gentleman outside of new? Because I promise you, normally I run a newer fleet. That's besides the point. But if I'm going in a older paid off excavator, say a pit machine, I'm not going to probably necessarily slap a brand new whatever it is. If it's a critical part, of course, you're going to go back new OEM, whatever, to get the longevity out of the machine, but sprocket or et cetera, you know what I mean?
And I'll tell you a quick story.
Please do.
So we were talking about, used parts and stuff like this and older machines. We were in Austin at a conference, equipment management conference. And I was sitting there at the table, and the guy sitting beside me was talking about how he couldn't get parts to finish rebuilds on Cat machines. And that Cat could not let him buy parts outside the dealer network or the supply chain network. So they're getting bombarded with fines and fees because they had to rebuild these machines at the refill facility and get them out. And in their contract, they had to pay for a run machine, pay for this, pay for that. And we were sitting there talking, and in every part that we're discussing, I called up Marty and called up Brad. I said, what about these parts? What about these parts? And they said, Sam, yeah, we got them right here. They're Cat OEM. We can get them. So, but they wouldn't allow them to buy it without their contracts. And that goes back to the dealer network. The dealer networks is different than a car dealership.
Oh, yeah.
They're restricted. Okay. They can only sell in their trade area. If you sell outside trade area, then there's a penalty. And there's a gentleman's agreement between the dealerships. I'm going to poach on you, you'll poach on me.
Right.
And I can tell you a lot of dealership meetings, that was the struggle and the fight. It's like, you sold this customer in my territory, now you got to pay me. Well, that creates borders.
Yeah.
Also, they don't want to work together. Some of them don't, some of them do. And so not sharing parts inventory to help each other out. They try to do it through different OEMs, had different programs, and it didn't work to the full effect it needs to work. And the customer suffers because where you're going to go? Are you going to drive all the way to Oklahoma City to get something from Warren Cat where rigs don't have it?
No.
You're not.
So I'm going to pick up a phone, call Jordan at Lighthouse.
Exactly. Well, guess what? We have access to a system that tells us where the Cat part is and reach out and get it.
Wow.
And that's what kills me. Take care of the customer. Well, you make less money if you're outside your dealership. Yeah, you're probably going to make less money. Okay? But do it.
Yeah.
And get the customer up and going. And then and some of the programs penalizes the dealers from doing that. Anyway, that has created opportunity for Lighthouse to create something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that is, and you think about it, the old school guys, like from Heavy Equip or from the other, they're closing up. Yeah. Their knowledge is gone. Or they're getting bought out by investment companies. And here we go again. It's about the dollar versus the customer.
Going back to that corporate led.
I'm not interested in that.
No, I guess
so. So the part side of the equation is for us, one, to break barriers and supply the customer the option, the best option we can do. And that's what we want to accomplish.
Literally. And the dealerships, man, the software. I know you have... I figured that would be a next pretty good proprietary software topic. Oh, my God.
If you require me to pay you to come out to my machine to diagnose it, you are not going to charge me. That is captured audience. That is called trade restriction. That is holding me hostage. And I wish that we, as an industry, I'm talking about contractors, go to our legislative and tell them, create a law to where I'm not held hostage to this. And
that's a great idea.
They can do that. We can do that. And there's been discussion about it. And the OEMs, I'm not saying all of them, but they're having discussions on how to combat that or how to help that. I've been in conversations with OEMs. They're like, okay, we need to start facilitating this. And then the dealers go, well, that means we lose revenue. Yeah. And we can't charge you $2,000 for a service call every time to go look at something and tell you that it was a filter.
Yep.
Well, if I had access to monitor my own machine and to diagnose my own machine, let's do that. There was a company that we met, it was beginning of this year, and they have an they're going to AI all of the service manuals where you can talk to the phone and put in what your symptoms are, and it scans the service manuals and put out what you need to check.
That's sick.
If that's completed, how much money would that save a contractor on service calls?
Yep.
On BS service calls. Now, if it's something major, yes. And I want my dealers to make money. I want them successful. I want them to make money and be able to take care of me when I need them.
That's right.
But not hold me hostage. And that's killing us.
I could only imagine, man. I mean, contractors as a whole, I am a little bit different. I basically pay them to service my machine through the entire warranty. And I already know that I'm going to have to, dude, one hose, you go out there, hey, I need this hose. Well, it's a sealed system. You're going to have us come out and reprogram that sensor to read this line, that line. Like, what? So I should have just had you guys to come out to begin with. And, earlier in the years of Sycon, I didn't know what I was doing when I was buying equipment. I was just buying equipment. I want the cheapest price possible. I didn't know you could put service packages in. I didn't know you could put mileage in it, that you didn't see a bill on your incremental hours, and that they're servicing the machine. So when you go to resell it, I had no any of this existed. And so thank God I did before all this software. It seems like in the last 5-7 years for sure, the software has become a complete issue, especially for farmers, them guys. I feel so bad for those guys that have shops. They have learned the knowledge. We were talking about those guys are fading out, but they know the knowledge how to work on these tractors, but they can't because they need something to go beep, beep,
right,
click, okay, yes, sir, recharge, regen, whatever it may be. But it's just so annoying.
The Komatsu service program, it's a really great program.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm building a rental fleet now, and I'm going to do the best I can to have power as my service and do Komatsu machines because of the Komatsu care. I'm not plugging in.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm just
Komatsu. Where you at?
Yeah. I mean, but Komatsu care and all. Look, I got a long frontal reach. I got a long reach on red right now in South Carolina. I'm launching here. And Linder is doing the service work.
Mm-hmm.
Going out there. So that model's doing good. Now, is all dealers great? No.
Mm-hmm.
No. But if I had my choice for the market area I'm in,
agreed.
Power is my company. South Carolina Linder is my company.
Yeah.
So that's I'm going to use for that. But
that gives a little reassurance and affirmation that I'm not crazy, that I did pick the right dealer back then,
Yeah, but back to power, though. Scott got a good team.
Yeah, he does.
Scott's a good team.
Solid.
Yeah. I was telling, what's his name? The president of Power, Andy Moon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was talking to Andy. I was like, Andy, you have a great team in Springdale. I'm really happy to be part of that. But anyway, back to service. If $200 an hour is ridiculous for what we're getting. Untrained.
Yeah.
Multiple trips.
Yeah.
Because the guy couldn't figure it out. Downtime. And there's no one to hold him accountable. We're held hostage. And so I'm starting to see more and more technicians leave the dealer network and start their own companies. And I'm starting to see a trend line on our revenue to those independent contractors, independent service guys. There's a company in Charleston that have 6 technicians. That's all they do is independent. I know a ton of service guys in the Atlanta market that went out and bought their own service truck, and they're doing their own deal. And they're charging $120 to $140 an hour versus with the dealer charging $200.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I question, their knowledge. So when you start working for a dealer, your knowledge hits a wall to where you're not getting that training.
Yeah.
So eventually those machines will fade out. And where's the knowledge side of it, where they can gain knowledge on the newer products. So eventually, there has been OEMs that have discussed using a Tesla model as a cell distribution and setting up service facilities to service machines through certified technicians that are not part of the dealer network. That has been discussed by a lot of people.
Well, yeah.
And the OEM will allow to keep the margins of their retail for themselves. It's we can go down that rabbit hole, but there has been discussion looking at it, and to the point to where they have looked at what it would cost to buy out contracts of dealerships, what it would cost versus what they've gained, and how long everything else. If that happens, then they would have to create a training program for the independent technician to work on that product, be Komatsu certified or Deere certified or CAT certified, Sani certified or whatever the case may be. So I'm looking, one, if we can limit what we get charged in the field for BS service calls or restricted access, and have some way for them to train our people.
That's right.
Okay, and that person could be an independent service contractor that's on 1099 with us. Okay,
Yep.
Train those guys until that we can be more profitable, and that has to come ahead sometime or another. That has to.
Agreed. I think sitting here on this side of the table, I mess with ChatGPT and Grok and a couple other AIs, probably a little far too much, but I'm trying to obtain that knowledge as quick as I can because I'm not a techie guy. But, I never even thought about taking I'm going to try it now, is taking a user manual from one of my machines and spin it in a ChatGPT and
ask the questions.
Yeah, I'm going to ask some questions and see if that works. But because I believe that's what they're doing as well. Whatever dealer that was basically dropping it into an open AI language learning model and basically. But think about the gentleman that is 70 years old who is finally buying that last piece of equipment and can be able to just go, hey, why is my,
Exactly.
It's going to be impressive for, or the young guys that always have their phone in their hand and can't get it out of their hand and they're glued to it. Hey, why is this machine wrong? So they can maybe, not fix it. They're operators, but at least when they pick up the phone and call boss, they can go, hey, boss, I changed fuel filters out. We had an extra pair there in the trailer, but man, this thing is acting funny. I checked the code online and just give me a little bit of information so I can go out to the dealer network or whatever it may be and independent guy. And actually, if I could fix it myself, I would. If I'm calling somebody, most of the time I don't know what I'm talking about. So the more information I can get from them as fast as I can.
And the more information you get the dealership too.
There you go.
You get, because when I was working for the dealership side, I had a customer calling me up, and they would complain about the service part. and he comes in livid and upset, and I understand. I feel your pain because I'm a deal. But then I go back to the service department, and I try to keep from doing it. But my frustration and aggravation, what I felt from him, is starting to come out in my service department, and I'm trying not to be that way. But it's like, you didn't even take care of my customer. We kind of find out the communication between him and somebody else within the company not there, and all the facts wasn't there, so he was piecing it together. But if we had a tool that would help our people in the field get some kind of data or get some chain of filters or this code's popping up, something to help them to feed it back to the dealership and be a lot faster and quicker.
This may blow some of you guys' minds that own Komatsu equipment, but a gentleman shared there's one dealer out in South Carolina, actually, as funny as that is. I think it's South Carolina or North Carolina, but they have a search bar that you can take your code from your Komatsu machine and stick it in there and at least give you some idea. Carl sent it to me anyhow in an email, and I checked it. We had some codes thrown on our 360, and I got it halfway diagged where I could call my heavy guy and go, hey man, I think this has something to do with either this or this. Oh, well, you probably ain't changed this out yet or done this, have you? And I'm like, oh, no. You want to come out and look at that? He's like, yeah, I'll be there in a couple, But we do. We have to have from the dealer side and from the customer side, because I have been that gentleman. I have 100% gone in hot-headed into situations, not being trusted and verified in my information before I moved forward. Made an ass of myself sometimes, but at the same time, that dealer should be able to kind of go, hey, I'm not getting everything I need in order for me to do my job. Can I have this or somebody that has that information, And it goes back to train people.
Right.
And, I can't tell you how many times I get a call from a guy in the field. Hey, this is broke. You want me to call over and deal with that? Well, my automatic answer is going to be, sure. Yeah, dude, have at it. I'm dealing with this and this. And by the time it comes back around to me, hey, Sam called me for this part, or my Sam, for this part and this part, and I think he really needs this. Can you take some time and verify this? But no, I agree. I think, things like back to Komatsu, My Komatsu, their app, that's probably how you're watching your dredger.
Right.
Exactly. And so, not to plug them any more than they need, but I love my Komatsu app that I can see the fuel burn rate. How much idle time are those machines sitting out there? Can we actually bill? When I go to send a bill, is the customer going to be upset because, we didn't do 8 hours worth we did 3, and I check is my Komatsu and go, oh, yeah, my customer's right. We only did 3 hours worth of work. It hasn't happened. But that's the verification that I want as a customer that's spending hundreds, if not millions of dollars on these pieces of equipment that I want to hopefully last longer than the payment. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, because equipment is not going to get any cheaper. And this year I think we're up to $35 million in equipment sales.
Let's go.
Yeah. But in that same breath, I got customers to buy them, and they buy them, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm always scared. I'm not always scared. I try to do the research, but I try to if the machine goes down, breaks down.
Yeah.
And back to what it costs and stuff. Every time we do use machines, I do evaluation and try to get the programs that the OEM's offering. So if Deere, Cat, whoever is offering 0% for 48, 36, whatever, I got to take that consideration, and then I look at the used machine and say, does this machine has appreciated enough to offset that? Well, how can we expect that cost expenditure? And then also the warranty side of the equation. Does the machine have a warranty on it that offset the risk factor over here? And then I look at the hour utilization of what the customer is and pencil it out. Okay, if we did finance this machine, what would be the depreciation cost? What would it be worth at the end of the note? Okay, we don't want to get to the end of the note and be paid off, machine wore out, or every single business model different. And so my main customers that I deal with, I pretty much know what their accounting structure is and how they will depreciate out stuff. And so I'll put the asset together and propose these methods of purchase, whether it be a rental purchase or financing or cash or whatever. And then also their buying habits. So a lot of my public trading companies do not buy anything until January. Mm-hmm. So like there are some big projects that are coming up that they don't have the capital to buy the machines, not approving the budget. They get the money. Yeah. It's just not something they have the approval for from corporate levels. And we'll go out there and buy the asset and rent it to them. And we then at any given time we'll have 5 to 6 million like that out just filling that need because
they need it now.
Yep. And that market may not have it there, okay, because the market's different all over the country. And we'll get the asset and put it on rent to them if we have a plan in place.
You bet, of course. Yeah, no. But it sounds time and time again, and I'm very excited for this story to be shared. But I mean, seriously, you've sat here for the past 45 minutes, hour, and talked about how you have found problems, and here's the solution, and here's the problem, and here's the solution. And if you guys don't follow Lighthouse Machinery on LinkedIn, I'll give you a shameless plug there because watching that ripper, it caught my eye. I watched that thing over and over again, and you talk about the mega ripper on the 470 and give that little bit of solution, how your customer came to you. And
we didn't talk about that, did we?
No.
Okay, all right.
Not all the way. I stopped you off.
Okay. So Terrahawk is a utility contractor in Raleigh. Great Dave Moore's awesome dude. Contractor. He also teaches school. He takes college at North Carolina State, I think.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He called me up to see him. Drilling and blasting has cost me a fortune. Mm-hmm. And we got some sensitive areas to where we can't blast because they got Dell Computer Factory and they had Farmers Data Center. Yeah, so can't drill and blast. And if we do drill and blast, the liability aspect of it is
astronomical.
And they said, do you ever see one of those big rippers on YouTube that they have in China? I said, yeah, I've seen it. And he says, can you give me one of those? So I called the guys over at Instruct in England. I said, look,
shout out.
Yeah. I said, guys, can you make this happen? Yeah, we do it all the time in Australia. I'm like, you're kidding me. He said, no. I said, well, put me in practice together. The first one we did was on a PC 750. And so
Oh,
Yeah.
it's huge, dude.
So, oh my God, to see that baby work was something. Now, we've had some rippers we demoed right here that didn't do good on the 490.
Okay.
We demoed to Grant. Grant took it to Grant Garrett.
Yep.
Excavating. He took it. Had customers that had issues with moving materials. Like there's a place over here where they got mines on the ground.
Yep.
And they got the quarry on top, and they couldn't drill and blast. And so they wanted to develop that in the subdivision, but they couldn't move the rock. Anyway, we tried it there, it didn't work. Anyway, but the Mega Ripper is on PC 750. The arm itself, just the arm, is 33,000 pounds. Just the arm. Because you have down pressure. You have a D11 Ripper with a cylinder this massive. I mean, it's huge. And anything it touches, if it has a 15,000 or less PSI rate, it just rips through it. Now, the problem that we have, and also it's a guilty pleasure, is he goes to tooth every Tuesday.
Oh my God.
I'm not talking breaking. I'm talking about you go up there and you can pour water on it and just it sizzle because it gets hot. So that tooth. Wow. So we had to import some teeth by the container load because we get them anywhere else. They're $500-$600 things.
Yeah.
They're stupid.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And so I can import them for $200. And I'm like, let's import them and then make sure the material spec is right and so that we don't kill our profit on the dang job. So that job went great. And then paid for the machine, loves it. I said, Sam, we got another job. Now and they want these machines digging here, and so we ordered another one, and that was exciting on that one, the 374. The tough part of that equation was, and this is something that everybody that's listening to this needs to pay attention to, the tariff scenario. Okay, when we ordered that part, it was 35% tariff. When it came in, it was 100 and something.
Oh my Lord! No notification, no nothing. Here's your bill.
No. We got notified.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But we got notified, but it already shipped. Okay. Already shipped. So he has a brand new Cat 374 still on the ground. Okay. With no boom to stick. Because he bought it. Okay. And now I got this ripper coming in. I called him. I said, Daniel. I said, dude, I just got my tax bill from the feds on this ripper, and we got to come up with $70-$80 more. And he's like, no. I said,
I bet he did. He bet. No.
I don't know what to tell you, man, because the bill's here. Either I have to abandon it at the port or pay the tariff. What are you gonna do? And so we ended up splitting it.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well. No, it's not good because he paid more and I didn't make any money.
I understand, but it's for the customer. Point proven, man.
Oh gosh,
you're worried about the customer.
No. And that's one thing I'm finding right now is that my customers or our customers or you or whoever are basing these projects and bidding these projects based on the cost factor they have at that time.
That's correct.
And I am seeing where the asset tool needed. Customer can't go on fast enough to offset that cost.
No, I promise you.
You can't. And it's scaring the living shit out of me.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's scaring me because I'm seeing it. When I'm having to pay for the replacement inventory, it's like gas. When gas goes up, and it's $1 cost, now it's $1.25. Well, you didn't make any money.
No,
because you got to buy 25% more for the gas. And politics aside, whatever they're going to do,
understood.
But it's hurting our industry right now. Once it settles, and we can catch up, and we know what the rules we play by.
Yeah,
pay it, go on. But it's hurting us.
No, I could only imagine. I mean, it. I didn't even honestly. Of course, it's the parts game. Tariffs, everything inbound. So yeah, that's definitely increasing more and more. But honestly, it's not just parts like that. It's also the projects that we're building, man. The tariffs, like when this first hit the ground, again, politics aside here, guys, like when they first hit the ground, we were bidding some work. We thought, after the election year, here we go. All this work's pouring out. Here it is, March. And then crickets, dude. Crickets. Like, whoop. Hey, man, did you see that big old proposal we sent? Yeah, man, busted out. Hey, man, oh, yeah, we're going to wait a year. Hey, it was push. We're still living the push game. We're in the middle of it. Now, don't get me wrong. You still have projects going, et cetera, funding federally. But, man, the commercial world, the multi-flex space, the multifamily space, anything, cushions on a dadgum fire sprinkler went up like $4 a piece at one point. Right. There's hundreds of them. You know what I mean? Right. Just the rings that cover the dadgum sprinkler heads, it's things like that we don't normally think about. No. But going into a building price and you're sitting there going, yeah, I've got this $1.5 million total site package coming out. Yeah, we're ready to go. And then all of a sudden, hey, man, we're going to wait till next year. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't totally just planning for this job over here. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you got to flip, and if you're not bidding any more work, but the tariff game on just the commercial, then you start bringing in the interest rate game, as I know you don't love. No. And that was kind of killing, land buying, land development. Nobody wants to purchase when interest high. That's doing its purpose, right? Yeah. But we still have jobs to do. Right. You know what I mean?
Interest rate is hurting dealers, too, because it costs more for them to stock the inventory.
Yep.
So anyway, if any contractor I'm talking to now, we're forecasting to achieve for 2026, I'm telling right now to have a 10 to 15% buffer for unexpected whatevers. Whatevers.
That's a big whatevers.
It is. Now,
at least you're talking about it.
Okay, forecast it, plan for it. If you don't need it, great. But don't get caught up in next year and like, holy cow, we blew through our capital. We don't have enough machines to start this job.
Yeah.
Or do this job.
Yeah.
The way to do a figure heavy on rental. I'm starting to see now some of the rental companies, and this happened here recently. I had 4 rollers on the water come from Europe. Okay, home rollers, and some of them Bomac too. But the 2 in particular were split drum, vibratory cab heat and air, specific to a state contract. And they had to have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't have it in the U.S. Yeah. Wouldn't go give it for 3-4 months if you did order it. And so we brought it over, and they passed a steel tariff of finished products that weekend, and it increased the cost of those machines by 15% overnight. Just it already shipped.
So my.
And so I called them up, and we had to pay it because that was specific. It's just like having a Cat 815 compactor for compaction test. The engineer not going to sign off on anything different. He knows that's what it's going to do, and he won't sign off on nothing else.
That's right.
And so that's what that tool was for. My dealerships, I don't see how they can increase the rental rate fast enough to offset, to get the return they need to have a rental fleet, to have that option for the contractor to use. Also, contractors going into next year with a dollar amount, and then
then get there and won't be able to write the check.
Right.
Oh, my Lord.
And there's some companies don't have to worry about it. They have enough, they're strong enough to weather the storm. Half the country's not.
No, it's already been a storm to this point. You know what I mean? Residual from things we just spoke about. But, yeah, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together there, but on the whole tariff capacity, inbound, outbound, you guys need to be absolutely paying attention to that because – wow.
It's cost factor. Yeah, 50% on finished goods.
God, finished goods, dude. $300,000 dozer.
Well, so they want you to break it down from where the steel came from. So, like on the rollers, the engine is made in England.
Okay.
The rollers assembled in Germany. The shell, the round part, the actual, is made in Prague or somewhere. So if you're not part of the EU, it's a different tariff. If it comes from China, which they're not going to tell me it comes from China or not to fill in the paperwork. So we have to basically follow the big boys on how they report so we can report the same way. And that's becoming challenging.
That's insane.
It is.
That is truly insane. I told you guys we were going to get some.
Yeah. And we're running out of inventory. I am running out of inventory. I am running out of inventory because people are buying up stuff. Everybody's had a 78% price increase in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sitting there to myself, I've already quoted this guy 100K for this machine or 200, whatever it is. I know for a fact that if you go to the dealership, he's going to pay 50%, 30% more. And I'm trying to fight the greed urge of going up.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're not, because it'll come back to bite you. He'll pay it. I'll pay it price. But he's going to remember that.
Yeah.
Or she. And it'll come back to get you later. But anyway, I hate to go off that part, but that's something we all had to pay attention to.
No, I am so glad you did. I mean, yeah, it's subject matter. That was the whole purpose of the show, is the subject matter. You know, you, sir, yes, you're in the blue collar world. There's no doubt about it, but you're definitely smarter than most blue collar ran businesses. You know what I mean? And you've had the experience.
There was a question on this.
Go ahead.
That hit me.
Blue Collar Performance Marketing's passion is to bring attention to the honest work done in blue-collar industries through effective, results-driven marketing tactics. They specialize in comprehensive digital marketing services, from paid advertising on Google and Facebook to website development and content strategy. I started working with Ike and the team earlier this year, and they've had a huge impact on our specific marketing campaign and trajectory of our overall company. Their expertise in digital ad management, website development, social media, and overall marketing strategy has been an absolute game changer for our sales and marketing at SciCon. If you're looking to work with a marketing team who does what they say, does it well, and is always looking for ways to help your company grow, book a discovery call with Ike by going to bcperformancemarketing.com/BCB podcast, or click the link in the show notes /description below. Thanks, guys.
What takeaways for a blue collar worker who is sick of being stuck in the mud?
Well,
that hit me so hard. Okay. And the reason why is because I've been in the boardrooms where the people up top were not the smartest.
Nope.
At all. They were there because of politics or for whatever reasons. I've been there where my technician knew more about the P&L than the people that were responsible for it. The inputs and outputs. And all I can tell you is, if blue collar doesn't mean nothing other than what you label yourself. And I tell guys all the time, especially on the parts side of the equation, you're smarter than most of the guys out there because you know how to make it happen. Doing and thinking of it are two different things. If you know how to do it, don't let anything hold you back, because you can do it. Don't let some manager or some whoever restrict your possibilities. And back to the military scenario, we used to talk about that. As long as you're willing to fight, there's no reason why you cannot get there. A blue collar guy can accomplish whatever you'll accomplish, because they had the skill set to do it. They just need to do it.
Man,
that's because I talk to technicians all the time at dealerships. I talk to parts counter people. I talk to the guys in the field running their machines, and all of them are capable of doing each other's responsibility. You would just take the time to train them, teach them. But when I saw that, I'm like, yes.
Funny.
Stuck in the mud. They need to pull themselves up. Let's go.
Dude, you stole the final question from me. No, don't be. I'm glad you're excited.
That's like that.
I have asked that on all 50 plus episodes to every single person, and you should. I can't wait till we put a collage. We put a small collage together, but I think I ought to put an episode of just people's answers to that, because I've had people from concrete guys on here to mega finance guys to, gentlemen that own a fleet of equipment, whatever it may be. And the answers are simpler than most, but at the same time, you're absolutely right. You just need to do it. You just need to start. You just, whatever, don't let anybody. I can't tell you how many people told me not to do this podcast. I can't tell you how many people told me to, you're going to put your utility work and earthwork on YouTube. I can't tell you how many times I got told that, but all I knew was what I knew. And so I stepped out, started doing something a little bit different, and there's always reward in the value of helping the guys that I was telling you very shortly about. The folks that have reached out. I can't thank enough to you guys, man, that have reached out about the marriage podcast that me and Sarah did. And we didn't talk about hardly anything business. It was more just our personal level. But the direct messages and emails that I received from you guys, I can't thank you enough. But that's the reason I'm doing the show. That's the reason I keep showing up every week and getting to meet wonderful, folks like yourself. They get to learn a little bit more insight, but there needs to be more resources for that blue collar guy that wants to achieve, wants to get out of the mud, wants to go do something else. He needs to be able to go find a resource that he can use, plug in, let's get better as he's sitting there doing his work for the day. But no, I ask every single person on the show, so I'm glad you're excited about that.
That was the one that stuck me the most, because I get when I started Lighthouse, they said, you're crazy. Why are you bucking the system? Well, I'm not bucking the system. It's just broke.
Amen, brother.
And people are like, well, why do you share on how you do stuff? I'm like, if I share people how they do stuff, they still have to do it
every day.
They have to do it every day, and that's the reason why blue collar, because they can do it every day.
That's right.
And just don't let anybody set you back, man. Just and the podcast deal, and you're showing your job site. I had another customer that didn't want me to video his job site. It was a rock wheel. We had a rock wheel.
Oh, dude, I want them.
It was so beautiful. That machine was awesome. Anyway, that's a different story.
Okay.
All right. So it was in South Carolina on that job. Anyway, all right. We were on the job site. He wanted a video. I'm like, why? He said, because people learn what we do on the job site. I said, they have to do it. Everybody knows what needs to be done. Yeah. Everybody thinks they know, or they know, but the execution part is the reason why you're in business and why somebody else not.
That's right.
And that's the reason why when I say blue collar, I look at people that can execute.
That's right. We build America up, and the rest of the globe. No, Mr. Sam, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time today for joining us on another wonderful episode here. You guys can check all episodes out at www.bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. Let us know on the form submission. I apologize. The submission form. If there's somebody needs to be on the show, or a product and service that you'd like me to highlight here on the show, get with us over there. If you're on a podcast streaming platform or service, give us a follow and a rating. It helps the show more than you know. I hope you guys got so much insight. I learned a few things sitting here, and that's the coolest thing about doing this, is I get to sit here and learn while these guys get to sit here and learn. And it's only making better guys. Like, shout out to Adam Swain in Colorado and your bunch out there, and Peyton Hill out in Jonesboro. Like, I can think of 10 or 15 guys that are avid listeners of the show that we help. Yeah, and they're gonna probably be calling, hey, Mr. Sam, what was this mega ripper you're talking about? I got a mountain to move over here now. So,
or just call me with any issue, any problem, and we'll try to find a solution. And you don't have to buy for me to do it.
Okay? That's right.
Because if I get big kick out of it, I get a customer. He always calls me up and say, I need this machine. Go find it. 67% of the time, he's not gonna buy it. But I do the exercise. But every time that somebody asks me to find a solution, I learn something, and I can use it to somebody else.
That's right.
Every single time. It's valuable.
You're inspiring. I appreciate you for willing to be a pioneer. I love spotlighting pioneers in our industry, going against the grain, that go, no, I'm tired of this. Oh, well, that's how it's always been, industry, and we're going to... Me and you both, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
But seriously, thank you for stepping outside your comfort zone. And guys, go see Sam and his team, LHMpartsusa.com. Check them out, Lighthouse Machinery, and all socials. And follow Mr. Light on the Lighthouse. Mr. Light on LinkedIn. He's a pleasure to watch, and you get to see things like mega rippers ripping up the wonderful countryside. Guys, till next time, y'all be safe. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with the fellers, check out our website to send us any questions and comments about your experience in the blue collar business. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have. Till next time, guys.